Break free from emotional chains. You ever feel like you're stuck? Like no matter how hard you try to move forward, something keeps pulling you back. That's not just life being unfair. That's emotional weight. Chains you can't see, but you definitely can feel. These chains, they're invisible, but they're strong. They're made from fear, from doubt, from all the things people told you that you couldn't do. You might not see them, but they're heavy. And if you don't find a way to break free, they'll keep you locked in the same place, year after year. I know what it's like to carry that weight. I've been there, where the noise of what people think drowns out what you know you're capable of, where you start questioning your own potential because somebody else couldn't see it. But let me tell you something, it's not permanent. Those emotional chains, they're forged in moments of pain, in setbacks that made you doubt yourself. But just like they were created, they can be broken. You see, life has this way of testing you, pushing you right to the edge of your limits. And that's where most people stop. They feel the pressure, they feel the fear, and they back down. But what if I told you that pressure isn't there to break you? It's there to reveal you. The version of you that's unashamed, that's free from doubt, that's ready to take on whatever life throws. That's what it means to break free from emotional chains. Not to live without fear, but to refuse to be held back by it. You see, fear is powerful. It's one of the strongest emotions we have. But here's the secret, it's only as powerful as you allow it to be. Fear can build those chains, link by link, holding you back from your true potential. But if you confront it, if you push back, every link starts to weaken. That's when you begin to see the cracks, the places where you can break through. And once you start breaking those chains, everything changes. Your mindset shifts, your confidence grows, and you start moving forward in ways you never thought possible. Now, breaking free from emotional chains is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It means facing those fears head on. It means acknowledging the doubts, the insecurities, the voices that tell you you're not good enough. But the moment you decide to face them, to push through that fear instead of running from it, you start to change. That's when the chains begin to break. That's when you start to experience real growth, the kind that doesn't fade when life gets tough. And I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. Step by step, we're going to break these chains together. And you're going to see how powerful you really are. And listen, I want you to stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to have the tools, the mindset, and the strength to break free from emotional chains for good. Don't miss this, because what I'm about to share with you can change everything. It's time to break those chains and step into who you're meant to be. Let's do this. The first thing you have to understand is that emotional chains are built over time. They're crafted from past experiences, moments where you felt powerless or unheard. Every disappointment, every setback, it adds a link. And over time, those links become a chain that wraps around your spirit, holding you back from your own potential. But just like they're built, they can be dismantled. It starts with awareness. You can't break a chain you don't know exists. That's why first step is recognizing what's holding you back. Is it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? Maybe it's something someone said to you years ago that's still living rent-free in your mind. You gotta identify it before you can destroy it. And here's the truth, most people never take that first step. They walk around with these invisible chains, blaming life, blaming circumstances, never realizing they have the power to break free. But you do, you always did. And once you recognize that, everything changes. Suddenly, the things that used to intimidate you start looking smaller. The doubts that kept you locked in place lose their grip. This is what personal growth is all about. It's about recognizing your own power, your own ability to shape your life. That's when you start to understand the power of the law of attraction. You begin to see that the energy you put out into the world is the energy that comes back to you. And I know what you're thinking. It can't be that simple, right? But think about it. When you wake up believing that you're stuck, that you're trapped in these emotional chains, everything you do reflects that. You walk different, you talk different, you make choices that keep you locked in place. But when you change that belief, even just a little, things start to shift. That's the law of attraction working in real time. When you believe you can break free, you start to. It's not magic, it's mindset. And it all starts with the decision to believe you deserve better. To believe that these chains don't define you, that they're just obstacles to be shattered. The real breakthrough comes when you decide to stop living in the past and start building your future. Not a future controlled by fear or doubt, but one that you design. One that's built on emotional intelligence, where you recognize your feelings but don't let them control you. Where you acknowledge the pain but refuse to be defined by it. That's when you're truly free. That's when those chains lose their power and you step into who you were always meant to be. Let's talk about this for a second. You've got to face the fact that emotional chains are often self-imposed. We trap ourselves more often than we care to admit. You see, life will throw challenges your way. People will hurt you, disappoint you, and leave you feeling broken. But if you're not careful, you'll let those experiences define you. You'll hold on to the pain, the hurt, the resentment, and you'll allow them to shape who you are. But this is where the shift happens. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You know, I've seen a lot of people who've been through some serious stuff. People who faced loss, who faced betrayal, who've been through the toughest of times. And yet, they still rise. They still overcome. How? Because they refuse to let their past write their future. They refuse to stay chained to old emotions, old mistakes, old hurts. They recognize that those chains may have been built over time, but they can be broken in a moment. And that's where your power is. Your power is in your ability to choose how you react to what life throws your way, to choose whether or not you let the past control you. I want you to understand something. Breaking free from emotional chains isn't about forgetting the past or pretending like things didn't happen. It's about realizing that you don't have to carry that weight anymore. It's about choosing to move forward, choosing to grow, choosing to create a new story for yourself. That's what emotional intelligence is all about. It's not about never feeling emotions. It's about learning to control them, learning to use them to fuel your growth instead of holding you back. Now, let me tell you something. If you're really serious about breaking free, you've got to stop playing small. A lot of people let their emotions keep them stuck in a cycle of negativity. They dwell on what's gone wrong, and they replay those negative tapes in their head. But listen, when you do that, you're giving power to the past. You're allowing old hurts to control your present and your future. You've got to stop that cycle. You've got to decide that you deserve better. You've got to make the decision to break free from emotional chains and step into the life you deserve. It's all about shifting your mindset. It's all about moving from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility. You've got to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the creator of your own destiny. And once you do that, once you embrace that mindset, everything changes. Your reality changes. And I promise you, that's when the emotional chains will truly start to fall away. I want you to take a moment and reflect. How much of your energy is spent on things you can't change? How much of your emotional strength is tied up in the past? I get it, it's hard. We're all human. We all carry scars. We all carry baggage. But here's the truth, those things are holding you back. They're keeping you from stepping into the greatness that's waiting for you. But there's a shift that has to happen within you. It's a shift that will require courage. It requires letting go of the need to be right, to be in control, and to constantly dwell in the past. And it's in this shift that you will find your freedom. You see, when you're tied down emotionally, your focus is scattered. You can't think clearly. You can't see the opportunities right in front of you. The law of attraction tells us that we attract what we focus on. So, if you're focused on your pain, your anger, or your regrets, guess what? You're going to keep attracting more of that negativity into your life. But what if you could shift your focus? What if you could change your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and in doing so, change the energy around you? That's the power you have within you. When you start to focus on the things that fuel your growth, on the things that light you up, you begin to attract more of that. You begin to draw in the people, the opportunities, and the experiences that align with your new mindset. And now, it's not going to happen overnight. This kind of change takes time, effort, and consistency. It requires you to dig deep, to confront the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But as you do this work, you'll feel the emotional chains loosening. You'll feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. And the best part? You'll start to feel more alive, more powerful, and more in control of your life than ever before. I want to encourage you to take the time each day to focus on your emotional growth. It's not about ignoring your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging your emotions, understanding where they come from, and choosing how to respond. When you're able to do this, that's when you start to unlock the power of emotional intelligence. Let me tell you, this isn't just some feel-good, motivational fluff. This is real, tangible change. This is the key to breaking free from emotional chains. It's all about taking responsibility for how you show up in the world. It's about understanding that your emotions are a part of you, but they don't define you. You get to choose what defines you. And once you make that choice, that's when the magic happens. Now, let me break it down for you. We're living in a time where it's easy to get caught up in distractions. Everywhere you look, there's something pulling for your attention. Social media, work stress, the pressures of daily life, they all demand something from you. But what happens when you don't take a step back to truly understand what's going on inside of you? What happens when you don't take the time to check in with your emotional state? It's like trying to drive a car without knowing if there's enough fuel in the tank. You can push yourself, you can hustle, you can grind. But if you're not fueling your emotions with the right thoughts, the right mindset, you're going to burn out. And that's where emotional intelligence comes in. It's not just about being aware of your feelings. It's about understanding the impact those emotions have on your life. It's about recognizing that emotions are not just reactions. They're signals, they're guides, they're messages that tell you when something's out of balance in your life. You need to learn how to read those signals. For example, when you feel frustration rising up inside of you, don't just push it down or act like it's not there. Pay attention to it. Ask yourself, where is this coming from? What is this trying to teach me? What is this emotion trying to show me about my situation? Emotional intelligence gives you the tools to decode those emotions and use them to your advantage instead of letting them control you. And here's something else: people will always try to bring you down. Life is full of challenges, full of people who will test your patience, your resilience, and your emotional strength. But the key here is that no one can affect you unless you allow them to. Let that sink in. The moment you decide that no one has the power to mess with your emotions is the moment you take back your power. That's where freedom starts. Freedom doesn't come from avoiding difficult situations or trying to control everything around you. It comes from mastering your internal world. It comes from developing the emotional resilience to face whatever life throws at you without letting it break you. I know this firsthand. I've been through a lot in my life: loss, failure, disappointments. But I learned that those things don't have to define me. They don't have to keep me locked in a cage. The moment I realized that, everything changed. I stopped letting my circumstances dictate my happiness. I stopped letting other people's opinions dictate my sense of self-worth. And that's when I started to break free. That's when I started to rise above the emotional chains that were holding me back. Here's a powerful truth. The more you learn to control your emotions, the more you become the master of your destiny. You stop being a slave to your past, to your fears, and to your insecurities. You take back the driver's seat in your life and you start steering it in the direction you want to go. And that, my friend, is true freedom. Now, I want to get real with you for a second, because here's what I've noticed. So many people are caught in the same trap. They've built these emotional chains around themselves, and they think they can't escape. But that's the illusion, my friend. The chains are not as strong as you think they are. They are made up of thoughts, beliefs, and stories you've told yourself for years. And once you start recognizing that, you realize the only thing holding you back is your own mind. Here's the catch. You've got to be willing to do the work. You've got to be willing to put in the effort to free yourself from those emotional chains. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take patience, persistence, and a lot of self-reflection. But here's the beauty of it. Every step you take toward emotional freedom is a step toward a more powerful version of yourself. So let's talk about what that work looks like. First, you've got to start by becoming aware of your emotional triggers. What sets you off? What makes you feel small, angry, or hurt? Those triggers are your clues. They're telling you where your emotional chains are still tied up, and you need to face them head on. You can run away from your triggers. You have to lean into them, look them in the eye, and say, "I'm not afraid of you anymore." That's where the growth happens. When you confront your triggers instead of avoiding them, you start to break the cycle. You stop letting your emotions control your actions. And that's when your life starts to shift. It's when you stop reacting out of habit and start responding with intention. When you do that, you start to live life on your terms. But here's something else I need you to know. Emotional freedom is not about becoming numb. It's not about shutting down your feelings. You're going to feel, trust me, you're going to feel everything. The difference is you're going to feel with awareness. You're going to feel with the understanding that those feelings don't define you. They don't control you. You are bigger than your emotions. I've seen people who, once they made this shift, started to attract entirely different experiences into their lives. They started to draw on more positive relationships, more opportunities, more abundance. Why? Because when you break free from emotional chains, you start operating from a place of power. You stop being the victim of your circumstances, and you start being the creator of your reality. Your emotional state becomes a reflection of your inner strength, your peace, and your resilience. And that's the key to mastering the law of attraction. The law of attraction works when you align your emotions with your desires. When you learn to manage your emotional state, you send out a powerful signal to the universe. You start attracting what you want because you've raised your emotional frequency. You're no longer stuck in the lower vibrations of fear, resentment, and anger. Instead, you're vibrating at a higher frequency, one of love, gratitude, and empowerment. Let me remind you again of something important. Emotional freedom is a journey, not a destination. It's not something that happens in an instant. It's a practice, a muscle that you build over time. The more you work on yourself, the stronger you become. You'll face challenges along the way, of course. Life doesn't just stop throwing curveballs because you're trying to better yourself. In fact, life will often test you in ways you didn't expect. But here's where the magic happens. The moment you shift how you respond to those challenges, you break the chains. You stop being the victim of your circumstances. You stop reacting out of fear, guilt, or anger, and instead, you begin to respond from a place of inner peace and strength. You know who you are, and you know that no external situation can define your emotional state unless you allow it. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone who just exudes calm and confidence in the face of adversity? They're not born with that ability. They've cultivated it. They've learned to master their emotional responses, to stay grounded and clear-headed, no matter what's going on around them. And you can do the same. You've got the power inside you to face anything that comes your way. And instead of being thrown off course, you can stay steady and focused. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play. Emotional intelligence isn't just about understanding your own emotions, it's also about how you relate to others. When you master emotional intelligence, you begin to read the room, understand people better, and respond to them in ways that create connection, trust, and collaboration. You stop reacting from a place of insecurity or defensiveness and start responding from a place of compassion, understanding, and strength. And that's how you create meaningful relationships. You stop attracting drama, toxicity, and negativity. Instead, you draw in people who resonate with your energy, who align with your values, and who bring positivity into your life. These are the kind of relationships that nourish you, that challenge you to grow, and that support you on your journey. But here's the thing: you've got to be willing to let go of the people and the situations that are holding you back. I'm talking about the people who drain your energy, who keep you stuck in negative patterns, and who perpetuate the emotional chains you're trying to break. You can't keep holding on to them if you want to step into the version of yourself that you're capable of becoming. This might be one of the toughest parts of the journey because letting go is never easy. But understand this: the people who truly matter to you will support your growth. They won't hold you back. They'll lift you up, even if it means they have to let go of their old expectations of you. True love, true friendship, true partnership is about growth. It's about moving forward together, not holding each other back. And when you start to cut those toxic ties, you make space for better things to come into your life. You make room for real connection, for deeper love, and for opportunities that you never even imagined possible. This is how you align yourself with your best life, how you step into your fullest potential, and how you finally break free from those emotional chains that have held you captive for far too long. All right, let's wrap this up with something that can change the way you see everything. All the work you've done so far, all the shifts you've made in your emotional state, your mindset, and your life, it's not for nothing. It's for something greater. This journey, this breaking free from emotional chains, it's all part of something bigger than you might realize. Because once you break free, you create a ripple effect. You inspire others. You show them that it's possible. When you start living with emotional freedom, you become a beacon of light for those around you. People will start to notice the change in you, your energy, your vibe. You're confident, and they'll want some of that. They'll ask you, how did you do it? And that's when you get to share your story, your journey, and the powerful lessons you've learned along the way. But remember, the more you elevate yourself, the more you must hold onto your truth. The more you rise, the more you'll be challenged. And that's okay. The challenge isn't there to stop you. The challenge is there to show you just how strong you've become. Every time life throws a test your way, it's a chance to prove to yourself just how far you've come. So, don't shy away from those moments. Embrace them. Step up to the challenge with the same courage, determination, and emotional resilience you've been building throughout this entire journey. Now, it's time to look forward. This isn't the end, it's the beginning of your transformation. And the amazing part is you're not doing this alone. You've got the strength inside you, the wisdom you've gained, and the emotional intelligence to face anything life throws at you. You've broken free from your emotional chains, and now you have the freedom to live the life you've always dreamed of on your own terms. But let me leave you with one last thought. Freedom isn't just about breaking free from the chains that hold you back. It's about choosing how to live once you've broken free. Are you going to life of purpose? Are you going to choose to become the best version of yourself every single day? Because that's what it's all about, taking everything you've learned, every insight you've gained, and applying it to create a life that is rich with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. As I stand here today, I can tell you that I have no regrets. Sure, I've stumbled, I've fallen, and I've faced setbacks. But I also know this: you can't break free from your emotional chains without a little struggle. It's the struggle that makes you stronger. It's the struggle that pushes you to rise higher, to dig deeper, and to create the life you deserve. So now I want to ask you, what's holding you back? What's standing in the way of your freedom? Because the moment you make the decision to break free, there's nothing stopping you from becoming the person you were meant to be. And you have all the tools you need: emotional intelligence, personal growth, and the law of attraction working for you. This is your time. You've got everything inside you to make it happen. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Break free now. You owe it to yourself, to your future, and to everyone you inspire along the way. And before I go, I want to remind you of something powerful. You are more than enough. You have the strength, the heart, and the soul to create the life you desire. Deep rising, and most importantly, never, ever forget that the power to break free is already within you. This is Will Smith, and you've just taken a major step toward breaking free from your emotional chains. If you found this message valuable, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. We are Wisdom Recorder, your knowledge source, bringing you more life-changing insights every week. Stay strong, keep growing, and remember, you've got this.